Hi everybody, Debbie here with Garden Style. So today I was going to talk about veggie beds, getting them composted, planting some seeds, but we are in the middle of another atmospheric river, and fortunately I have about an hour or two before the rains start to hit. So I decided rather than go through the veggie bed thing and dodge raindrops, that I would talk today about ground covers. Now at the nursery, we are starting to receive lots of early blooming ground covers, and I wanted to cover 3 or 4 of them with you today to show you what you can plant right now. So the very first one I'm going to cover with you is this cute little guy, and this is called Saxifrage. It's a member of the Saxifrage family, and they come in lots of different colors. This one right here happens to be a deeper pink with a lighter center in the flower. And this is about as high as it will get right there. And these fantastic little flowers will start blooming, right about now, going all the way into early mid-spring. And saxifrage basically is a Latin word for breaking rock breaker, I guess is what they call it. So it kind of gives you an idea of the conditions that it likes to live in. This particular plant does okay in morning sun. It needs at least 5 to 6 hours of sun, but not that late afternoon searing heat. It does require really good drainage, and this is something that would be perfect to plant underneath rose bushes, hydrangeas, plants like that where you need a little ground cover underneath there to add a little color until those particular plants start to go into bloom. But this particular plant is pretty darn hardy, and they're one of the first plants that we receive into the nursery because they're blooming. And of course the growers will force them to bloom a little earlier, but a lot of these are grown cold hardy, which means they're not grown in a warm greenhouse, they're grown in a cold house, because that's the kind of weather they prefer, is cooler weather. So what a perfect plant here for the Northwest, right? So I'll give you a little information on it here. Of course, its exposure is full on sun. It's hardy down to zone 4 or minus 30 degrees. So that goes to show you it can survive a winter. Water, it likes evenly moist soil. So you don't want to let these guys dry out. Especially during the summer when we get our really hot weather, you want to make sure they're getting regular water. They probably get about 6 to 10 inches high. And of course they bloom in the spring, late winter, early spring. They are deer resistant. And there are so many buds on this thing, this will just keep going and going and going. And they form like tight little mats. So they're not like a spreader, like what you would see going over a rock wall or that type of thing. But they do form nice little mats. And then in about, 2, maybe 3 years after it's been in the ground for a while, you can actually dig these up and start to divide their mats and spread them out. So yeah, just wanted to introduce you to Saxifrage. It's a fantastic low growing ground cover that you can put in the ground right now, and it will absolutely love life because of our cooler weather that we have right now. So there's one, and then another one I wanted to show you is one of my favorites. I've planted lots of these in the past, and that is English daisies. Now this is called Habanera, which is a larger English daisy, and what I'm going to do is flash a picture in the corner over here to show you how small they usually are. But this is a new hybrid, and they're a little bit bigger, and they just come in these great colors. So you can get them in reds, you can get them in like a bicolor pink and white, you can get them in white, pale pink, lots of different colors. And they will start blooming right about now. And if you keep them deadheaded, they will bloom all the way until the beginning of summer. Now they start to slow down a little bit as it gets warmer out, but same thing. These guys like morning sun, at least 5 to 6 hours. They prefer afternoon shade, so they don't burn their little leaves. But this is another one that will spread like crazy for you. So just wanted to introduce you to these guys. I really like them because of their big fluffy flowers that they have on them, so they really stand out. And this is another one that's a fantastic ground cover to plant underneath rose bushes, hydrangeas, trees, shrubs. These will do exceptionally well for you. So just wanted to make sure you knew about these. And I will cover some pertinent information here for you. Of course, the exposure is full sun, but preferably morning sun, so that they're not, in that hot late afternoon heat. Let's see, they are hardy down to zone 4. That's another one that's super hardy. 6 to 12 inches high, so it might get a little bit taller than that, as you can see there, but not a lot. They stay pretty low. And once they get established, they don't require a whole lot of water later on. But for that first year, I definitely make sure that they stay well watered and, of course, really good drainage. They demand good drainage. So add some sand or, some rocky, like cactus mix type soil to the soil when you go to plant them to ensure that they're going to get the drainage that they need, especially in the wintertime when, as you know, we get a ton of rain. So English daisies, they've been around forever and ever. It's a huge family of different types of flowers, but the Habanera series is the one I wanted to introduce you to today because they're huge compared to what a regular English daisy looks like. So look for those in your nursery. Okay, so there's a couple others for you. And then another one I wanted to introduce you to, and he is just now starting to bloom. And this one is called Veronica. It's part of the Speedwell family. This is Veronica Georgia Blue. And it's just now, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see them because they're so small. They get all these little teeny tiny blue flowers on them, but they get coated in them, so they really make a statement out in the garden. And this is a fast spreader, so I will warn you, wherever you put this, make sure you don't mind it going to town, because it will. It'll start to take over and just does exceptionally well if you're looking to cover an area quickly, especially on slopes and that sort of thing, because again, this is another one that requires full sun. You can keep it trimmed back during the summertime, and this is another one that will bloom, for a good 8 to 12 weeks once you put it in the ground. If I can spit that out. But yeah, gets coated in lots of blue flowers. It's an excellent spreader, likes full-on sun, really good drainage. This is an excellent specimen for rock gardens, climbing over walls, that type of thing. But again, your nurseries are starting to get these in because they're hardy. These are plants that, as a nursery, we can put them outside right now, where a lot of plants you still can't because they're still kind of tender. So this is what we start with in the nursery, besides, shrubs and trees, as we start to get in early ground covers like this that start to bloom early in the spring. All these plants that I've just talked about, you can definitely put in containers. Every single one of them will look great in a pot. But Veronica, I'll flash a little picture there so you can see what it does look like when it's in full bloom, is actually one of my favorite ground covers. It's done very well here in my yard. Let's see. Let's give you some pertinent details on this guy. So this one is hardy to -10, or basically zone 5. It'll get about 6 to 9 inches tall. Of course, its major bloom time is during the spring. It may slow down during the summer, but I've seen them spit out some more flowers for the fall as well. I just give them a light haircut, start trimming off, just the edges here, and it'll start to produce more flowers for you. But Veronica, Speedwell, it comes under lots of different names, and this particular variety is called Georgia Blue. What else can I tell you? Is there anything on here? Deer resistant, yep. And it loves to attract bees and butterflies. So this is an excellent plant. In fact, all of these that I'm talking about today are fantastic to put underneath your fruit trees, for example. If you need more pollinators in your yard, start putting down some early blooming ground covers like this to help attract those pollinators to the area that you need them the most. So Veronica, Georgia Blue, fantastic ground cover. And then last but not least, I have a great one here. Love this plant. And that's this guy. Look at that color. That is something we all look forward to, and you probably see these in a lot of different places. But this is called Rockcress or Arabis, and this particular variety is called Deep Rose, Little Treasure Deep Rose. And this is another one that will bloom its heart out until summer. And they get started now. They come in lots of different shades. This one just happens to be a real deep rose pink color, but they come in a pale pink, they come in white. I've seen them with pale pink with a slight yellow center on them. So lots of different colors that these can come in. And with Rockcress, these are probably the best specimen for a rock garden because they demand really good drainage and kind of rocky, craggy soil, So if you have kind of crappy soil, this is a good candidate for that. It takes full sun, 2-part shade. It's hardy down to zone 3, so hello. This is something you can grow just about anywhere. You definitely want to let it go dry between waterings, except maybe in the summertime. I would see to it that it stays pretty moist if you have really dry summer. Gets about 4 to 8 inches high, and of course it blooms in the early spring and will continue its bloom probably until May, early June, and then it'll slow down. And this is another one that creates a nice spreading mat, but I've seen them fall over rock walls. This is just a great spreader for that, and fantastic in a rock garden as well. So let's see, what else can I tell you? Deer resistant? Deer resistant, yep, sure is. Rockcress. So Arabis is the family that this comes from. So just wanted to introduce you to 3 or 4 ground covers. I knew I was going to get rained out today, so I couldn't really cover, the veggie bed. But these are things you can start to look for in your nurseries right now. I would be planting these things with tulips, daffodils, pansies, primroses. All those plants are great companions for these low-growing ground covers. This would look great, of course, underneath shrubs as well, as long as they're getting that sunshine. They need at least 5 to 6 hours to really bloom their hearts out like this one is here. Okay, so there's a quick blurb on some early ground covers that you can start to invest in now. One thing I really like to do with ground covers is put them in containers and start combining them with annuals. And that way you're not constantly replacing them year after year. And of course, by the 2nd or 3rd year, they're just, full blown, hanging over the edges of the pots. So they're a fantastic plant for that. In fact, all of these are. And I will put a list of their names down in the description box down below so that you're able to refer to it and not have to rewind yourself through the video. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of you for all your kind comments. What a fantastic following. It's really nice to be back and start doing this on a regular basis again. But gardeners out there, just a fantastic group of people. And I just want to say a really big thank you for watching the videos, and hopefully you're learning something along the way, especially in our unique environment up here in the Northwest in Zone 8. Okay. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave those in the description box down below. Hit like or subscribe, share it with your friends. That just helps get the video out there, and it certainly helps me in the long run. Take advantage of our newsletters that come out on our website, sunnycrestnursery.com. Sign up for those. They come out at least once or twice a month now, being we're getting into the busiest time of the year for spring planting and, of course, getting our beds ready. And yes, I'm still cleaning out beds. But this next video, I am praying we don't get rained out, and I'll be able to go over what I do to get my veggie beds prepped, and of course, cleaning out the lovely perennial bed, which is probably the most high maintenance bed I have in the yard. It's cutting them all back, getting them all fertilized. If you're wondering about fertilizer, now is the time. Go around and fertilize everything. Because I am seeing leaves now. Things are wanting to bust out. I imagine this coming week, as we start to warm up into the mid-50s, lower 60s, things are going to start blooming. We're going to start seeing early bloomers like your early plums, early cherry trees. Will be busting out in bloom here in the next couple of weeks, and that just gets me even more excited to get out here in the yard and get busy. All right, you guys, hope you're having a fantastic spring so far, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye for now.